what it will do, it will append the file contents to the file. So basically what you need to do is you need to append the file function. You can pass the data as an option. So the data can be a string or buffer or anything, whatever you want to do, you can do that one. So obviously the my append file, this is a file handle append file. So basically what I will do, I will just do something like a dot append file. Okay, so this is a promise dot append file. So instead of that fs dot append file, this is what we need to check. So there is something called a file append file sync is file is there, and that is synchronous, but we are going for asynchronous options, right? So that is the reason I will go with the fs dot append file. Path, first the parameter you need to pass, and the data whatever you are passing, and the next one is a callback. The path is nothing but either string or buffer or URL or number, whatever it may be. The data is nothing but a simple string. And the options can be anything, either encoding format or mode or flag or flush. All these things we can pass. By default, the value is append mode. Default is append mode, and default is a UTF-8, and default is a 0 0 6 6. This is in a read mode, and default is a false. And then the callback, with the callback which always takes the parameter only the error parameter. Okay, apart of that it won't take anything. So that is the reason I'm just displaying in such a way. Okay, so basically if you are taking fs dot append file, okay, I'm not going for a synchronous, I'm going for asynchronous. Okay, in the asynchronous method you need to pass three parameters. One is a path, and next one is a data, and next one is callback. Forget about this options is optional here. That is the reason they kept it inside the brackets. So just leave that here. The file name you need to pass, that is the file name, which is my file name. And next one is the contents to append. Let's say this is my contents to append. And the callback, inside the callback, definitely you can see this callback is like this. Okay, and the callback, it will take only the error parameter. That is what we read it from the from our documentation, right? So first of all, you need to check like if there is any error. Okay, simply what you will do, you will just put some console.log method. Inside the console.log method, just mention that thing like there is an error while appending. Okay, this is what you need to do, and then you need to just display the error as well. Okay, and then if it is nothing was happened, I mean it is like, let's say there is no error, then simply you need to put mention something like this console.log. Okay, uh, content append successfully. Okay, this is what we need. Okay, just go here and save it here. And now I'm just trying to run this one. First of all, the file name is nothing but a text file. So if you go for a text file, initially this is my text file, this is what we have. But for now, if we are going for contents to append, this is something like, hi, this is Bala, I just want to append this content into the file. What I will do, I will just put some new lines, in a C language. What you will do, just put a slash and slash, right? That is what the same thing we will do. Just I will try to run the file. So basically what I'm expecting is whatever the contents inside the text file, along with that, I just wanted two new lines, and I want to put like, hi, this is Bal. This is what I'm expecting. Okay. Now, if you run this one, if you run this one, right? So basically contents append successfully. This is what the message we have received. But if you go for a test.file, see, if you observe this one, right? This is the earlier content what we have. And on the top of that, we have appended some contents to the text file. That is nothing but a, hi, this is Bal statement. Are we clear? So write a program to append the contents to the existing file. Okay, this is what my question is. So what I will do, I will just go here and insert table and one table here, and I'll go here and I will go to here. Okay, and this is all. Did you guys open this link at any cost? I mean, did you guys ever open this one and try like whatever we have wrote the notes and all? Just at least copy and existing, see that, and execute the things at least. I don't know. If you are done, then it is fine. If you are not done, please give a try for this one. Okay. So next one, we do have something like another operation. Okay. Write a program to delete the file. Okay. So if you want to delete the file, what you need to do? Okay. Basically, we have some other functions. Okay. We will go with that one. Anyways, Oh, one strike, Divyanshu Sahu. Okay, great. So this is my file content. Okay, I have one file name, something like a test.txt. Okay, on the top of that, I want to add some piece of code to delete the file. If you want to delete any file by using a node, definitely you need to do one thing. Okay, uh, just a minute, please. Okay, so here we have something called a unlink. Unlink is one of the method to delete any file. Okay, just see, this is a promises.unlink. Instead of that, I will go with the fs.unlink. Okay, fs.unlink sync is a synchronous call, so I don't want to go with the synchronous call. Instead of that, I will go with the you know what it is called, a synchronous call. Okay, so basically this is fs.unlink. This is what we need to do. We need to pass two parameters. One is a path and the callback. So the path is nothing but the file which you want to delete, and the callback is nothing but the returning value which from the fs function. So basically the callback is contains only the error value. A part of error, we don't have anything. So make sure you need to write a code in such a way. So basically what you will do, fs dot unlink is my method. Okay, inside the unlink you will pass two parameters. The first one is a file name, that is nothing but a path of the particular function. Okay, just observe here we have test.txt, that is what the file we want to delete. And then basically you need to pass one callback in the sense what, basically this is the one. So in the callback, we are only taking the error parameter. Okay. So here you need to check like if there is any error. Okay. If there is any error exists, then basically what you need to do is you just need to put a console.log statement and then mention that there is an error while deleting the file. Okay. So now basically you need to just put a error here. Okay, and then else if there is no errors and all, just put a console.log statement and mention that something like a file deleted successfully. Deleted successful. Okay, this is what we want here. Okay, now go here and save. Okay, now let's see what will happen here. Now I have given the proper file and instead of that I will give a wrong file, like there is no test1.txt, right? Now let's see what will happen if I run this one. Okay, there is an error while deleting the file, no such a file or directory. So this is what we are getting the error. For example, if I put something like a test.txt, okay, just observe this one. This is the file we want to delete. Okay, now I will run this program and see like file deleted successfully and the test file is already deleted from here. Okay, this is what the capability by using a Node.js. You can do perform any operations from the what it is called from the local disk or the server. Basically, if you are going for a React or a no, I mean React or Angular or Vue.js, you cannot do such a kind of by using such a kind of frameworks. You cannot do such a kind of file operations and all. But by using a Node, you can do all this stuff. Okay, save, close this one and copy this and come back to here and to go to our notes and just insert one. Okay, this one. Now I will just format this. Okay, so this is what the example for a deleting a file. Okay, so what else we have left? We have done with opening a file, closing a file. Okay, create file is pending and read file is done, renaming the file is done, deleting the file is done, appending a file is done, and now we are going with the creating the file. So if you want to create a new file and if you want to write some data to the file, okay, how you can do that? For that, basically what you need to use, you need to use a create write stream method. Okay, so if you go with the documentation, right, we have something called a create write stream. Okay, fs dot create dot write stream is there, right? Okay, create write stream, this is one of the method which is used to see. It is unsafe to use fs dot write multiple times on the same file without waiting for the callback. For this scenario, fs dot create write stream is recommended. So even what even people are already mentioning clearly, the developers are mentioning that instead of using fs.write, you can directly use fs.create write stream method. So basically it will take one path. Okay, and the further is the options. The path is nothing but a way, it can be either a string or buffer or url, and the options can be either a string or object. It can have a multiple values like flags. The default value is a write mode. Okay, you need to put it in a write mode, and encoding is a utf-8, and ft is a nothing but a file descriptor. By default it is a null, and mode is a write mode by default. Auto close, emit close, start, fs, everything, signal, high watermark, flush, everything will be here. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to write a file in such a way. Okay, so how you can do that one? Okay, I will give you some example on this one. So basically you need to, okay, I will create one file. Let's say I will write one file name something like a fs. This is my file name. Let's consider this is my file name. I mean test.txt. This is what I want. Okay. Now what I will do. Let's take one variable, something like a write stream. Okay, write stream is my variable name. This is a user defined variable name. Now what I need to do, fs dot create write stream. This is my function. Okay, inside the function what you need to do is you need to pass the file name, whatever the file name you want to create, right? You need to pass it. See, if you observe here, right, there is no test.txt file in the current path. If you want to give a full path, you need to mention like c colon slash double slash, mention that file name, drive or folder name, and blah blah blah, and all these things you need to do that. Okay, can you guys just give me 1 second, please? Just give me 1 second, please. Okay, so what you need to do is you just need to mention a create write stream, okay, and then you need to mention the file name. Whatever you want to write it into the stream. See, this will create one object. Definitely, what it will do, like fs dot create write stream, it will create one variable. If you want to see what is that write stream, you can just make a play. For example, like, just see, this is the way you need to write or you need to learn the things. First of all, what it is written, fs dot create write stream will return one stream. That is what the tutor will do. Okay, see, this is what the stream is. So inside that stream, we have a lot of functions are there. Out of all these functions, if you observe this one, right, there is a function called a write stream, blah blah blah. There are write function is there, write synchronous is there, write v is there. So there are a lot of functions are there. Okay, you need to utilize those functions to achieve your goal. Your goal is to write some data to the function, right? So for that purpose, I am using something called a write function. Inside the write function, whatever you want to write, you can mention that one. Something like, hi, this is Balu, this is my test file, this is what I want. Okay, that's it, nothing much. I just want to write a stream and see these values, that's it. Okay, and remember one thing, if you are using a streams, even if you are having some basic idea on the c++ or java, even on the file system, I told you so many times, if you are opening something, either it is a stream or a file system or whatever it is, if you are using some pointer, make sure you are closing this one. So if you want to close this stream, you need to use something called see, if you observe this one, right, there are some methods here. Okay, so out of these all methods, you can utilize any other methods. So basically what I will do, I will just open this one. So that is the reason I want to close this one. So I will just end this stream. Okay, this is what opening the stream, and this is what closing the stream. If in the middle, if you want to write something, just use the method, something called a write method. So that will use to create a file. Okay, and see, I don't have it, let's say I don't have a test.txt and all. Okay, now what I need is I want to run this file and I want to see this content inside the right stream, right? So there is no test.txt. Now let's say I'm writing this file. If you observe this one, right, test.txt is created. Okay, inside the test.txt, what I wrote is, hi, this is value, this is my text file. This is what I wrote, right? Hi, this is value, this is my text file, right? Okay, so make sure you are practicing the things. I mean, until unless you are practicing something, you don't learn the things. I mean, you can't learn the things. Okay, so 281 is done, and 9th one, write a program. Oh, write a program to create a file. Okay, so here what I will do, I will just go to insert, mention here console.log, copy. Okay, okay, just go with examples, please, and just try to practice these things. Okay, so without practicing, you definitely can't learn anything. Okay, so what I will do, 22nd May, right? I will mention something like here 22nd and 23rd May. Okay, so that 2 days will be covered here, right? Overall the file system. So just go with this and try to execute most of the programs as much as you can. It is like, how much you try, that depends on yours. Like, these are the simple examples I have given out of all these things, but you can try a lot. Okay, sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, so there are lot of functions are there. Just go with all those things. I mean, I'm not saying like go with each and everything, but at least try with something. So file handle dot truncate, and there is fs dot whatever the fs dot methods are there, right? So change owner and change owner, this is the synchronous, and f synchronous, and truncate, global. So there are a lot of things. Okay, so now only the thing is you just need to give a try. Okay, Just go with these things. RM stands for the remove directory. Okay, you can mention the path and the callback, and directly it will remove this one. Okay, so there are a lot of functions you have. Just go and give a try. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Definitely, I will help you. Okay, so this is all about the file system. If you have any doubts, please do let me know so that we will discuss more on that. There is something called buffer. Okay, you need to learn a little bit about buffer. Do you remember one time while at the time of reading the file contents in this program, we have not mentioned this UTF-8? By that time, the data, whatever we have received, the data is entirely in the buffer format. So that is the one easiest way. See, basically you are asking the Node.js server to decode that one by using a UTF-8 format and display the data. Okay, so that will be the external burden to the Node.js server. But apart of that, there are multiple ways to read the contents and to display the buffer content. And okay, first of all, let me go in this way. Guys, please raise your hands or speak yourself. I'm just unmuting everyone. If you have any questions, please speak now so that I will go with the buffer. Anybody have any questions? One, two, three, four, five. Five people are here. No? Yes. Okay. So see, guys, I told you so many times, no trainer can give you 100% of knowledge. We will show you the path. Only the thing is, it is your responsibility to learn the things by yourself. Okay. So it's not like, okay, sir, I'm paying, right? So you have to teach each and everything. If we go on that mode, right, definitely it will take almost 1 year to learn the node. Definitely. Okay. Not only node, any programming language or anything, definitely it will take some time. So that is the reason I strongly suggest you please go and practice the things. If you have any questions, I'm always here. You can ping me in WhatsApp or either in a group or just mention that. Okay, so is there any function for undo the deleted file? No. Once you are deleted, this is deleted, just like a operating system. Like for example, if you go for a Windows operating system or somewhere, right, that will go to the where recycle bin and all, right? But here we don't have any such a kind of operation. Once you delete it, that is deleted then. Okay, let me see whether your question will be answered properly or not, Tejashvi. So what I will do, I will show my recycle bin here. Let's see, in my recycle bin, I do have a test.txt is there or not. Yes, it is there. If you open this one, right, it will show you, I mean, it will ask you to restore that. Once you restore, definitely you can have your what? You can have your contents back. But programmatically, we definitely can't. I mean, to say, I'm aware of that we can't do. Once you delete it, that is delete. It is a hard delete. It is not a soft delete. You know the difference between soft delete and hard delete, right? In the databases, basically, we will change the flag to the 0 or 1 so that it we came to know that it is a soft delete. But here, it is not such a kind of option. Once you delete it, it is deleted. Okay. Why you are not speaking, Tejashvi? I have asked you to unmute so many times, but you didn't speak. Okay. Then if you are okay, then I will go with the further concept called a buffer. Okay, buffer is very little bit easy, but it is you need to just understand like how the things are working on the buffer. Okay, so first of all, if you go for a buffer, first of all, what you need to do is go to the node documentation, and here there is something called a buffer. Okay, this is one of the module. Definitely, we need to understand. Okay, so if you go for a buffer, right, there are a lot of functions out there, but the most useful function is a toString. Okay, basically toString is one of the method we will use so many times. Okay, oh, sorry, the spelling is wrong. ToString. Okay, the toString is a method. Definitely, we will use so many times. I mean, just like for example, okay, the best example is, for example, if you see this. Read the file contents. Right? If you want to read the contents of the file, I'm just copy pasting here. Okay, I just want to show you one more time. Let's say if you are not having this UTF-8 content here, let's say there is no, it's an optional parameter. Let's say you are not passing this parameter. Okay, right now what you are getting the output, see, you are getting some buffer. Now we understood that whenever the node.js is reading this that particular files by using a file system, definitely it is returning some buffer value. Now if you want to display that buffer, if you don't know what is this encoding format, and definitely what you can do, you can just put a toString method. You can use a toString method. The toString method will convert your buffer to the string. I mean to say, normal buffer value. Buffer in the sense it's a raw data. I mean to say like it is, you may cannot understand, but it is nothing but the CPU or system can easily understand what kind of raw data it is, and it will convert that into the toString. The toString method is defined inside the Node.js, and it is returning some value. I mean to say like definitely it will return the string value, stringified value of that particular buffer. If you observe this one, right, I have mentioned something like a file2.js. That means this is the same file. Here you are returning the entire file contents, right? So earlier it is returning a buffer, but whenever I keep the toString method, definitely it is returning this one, right? So while you are learning a buffer, the very first method is a toString. Okay. So I'm just mentioning here the same thing. Okay. Write a program to read the file buffer. Okay. I can read the file buffer and convert into the string. That's it. Okay. So how I can do this one? I will just, if you go in this mode, right, definitely it will take lots of time. I'm trying to speed up the things, but I don't know, once if you guys are not understood, then again I will get a complaint like, okay, Sari is like going very fast and all. So that is the reason I'm just going one by one. Okay, so there is a method called a toString method. ToString is always used to convert your buffer into the what toString is the method to convert the raw buffer to human readable string. Okay, so you can just go here and just read this one. I mean to select the encoded format, you can mention, and the start and end we can mention. There are a lot of other ways. See, in the toString we are just passing the empty value. That means we are not mentioning anything. But by default, if you come here, right, the default value is a UTF-8 format. That is the reason it is converted into the text string. But you can mention the any format. Like if you want to convert it into the hexadecimal, or if you know whatever the format you want to convert, you can just mention that one. So automatically that will convert into the string. Okay. So somebody asks you to convert any string into the hexadecimal format. You just don't need to mention anything. Just okay. First of all, you need to learn about this buffer dot from. Okay, and 1 minute. You may get some doubt. Okay, okay. First of all, let's go with the raw data. I mean, it's like very raw. I mean, like very scratch. Okay, so how I can do this? Okay, first of all, let me write down some example. And remember one thing, for the FS module, you need to bring that, require of FS and all, but here you don't need to do anything. Before, just like a process, buffer is also inbuilt module in the Node.js. So you don't need to worry about like including that, or, importing that, or require doing all the stuff. You don't need to do anything. Okay. So let's say I just take something like a buffer. Okay. I just mentioned like a buffer equals to. Okay, you have something called I mean, it's like you have something called a new buffer. Okay, if you want to create anything, right, new buffer is one of the thing. Okay, for example, if you mention something like a new of buffer, then you can mention whatever the buffer you want. It will convert, or it will create that buffer in a new thing. Okay, let me show you the very first place where we are. Okay, this is what new array, new buffer, new string. Okay, new size. Okay, first we will go with this one. Okay, new buffer. Initially, we are using a new buffer of size, but currently it is a deprecated. If you go here, right, people are recommended. I mean, like Node.js developers are recommended, like, don't use this one. It is a deprecated. Use a buffer.lx instead of buffer. Either using a buffer.lx concept is also fine, but don't use a buffer.new of size. So what see, this is deprecated, but still it is supported. So that is the reason I'm doing something like a new buffer of something like a 10. Let's say I have mentioned something like a 10, and console.log. If I mention something like a BF buffer, right? Now let's see what is the output here. I'm just giving a 10 bytes of size to the buffer, and I'm trying to display what we are getting here. Okay, let's see. So this is a buffer. But when I'm using this one, it is clearly mentioning the warning like buffer is a deprecated due to security and stability issues. Please use a buffer.log. So I'm just going with a buffer.log. Okay. So you can use a buffer.log or buffer.log unsafe, or buffer.from these methods instead of using a new buffer. Okay. Now, if I run this code, Earlier I saw the error, right? But now I don't see any error. It is a 10 bytes of memory where you can keep anything. I mean, it's like you can write anything. Okay. For example, this is what the creating a buffer, right? So first of all, I will go here and I will write down some notes here. Okay. Create a buffer, buffer variable with a 10 bytes of size. Okay. So if somebody asks you like you just create a 10 bytes of 10 bytes of buffer size, and what you need to do is just simply you can write this program and you can show here something like this new buffer dot lf, and don't use anything like a simple plain buffer class. Basically that is a duplicated, right? So that is the reason I suggested to not use that one. Okay. Now, if I want, see, the buffer is created, but if you want to write something on the buffer, then what you will do? Basically, we have some methods. Okay, so if you go to here, right, there is something called a dot write is one of the methods. Okay, buffer dot write, and whatever the string you are passing, you can pass that. There are a lot of other options also there. So inside the buffer, so what you have. So if you observe this one, right, the string is nothing but string to write the buffer, and offset number of bytes to skip before starting to write a string. The default is a zero. That means you don't want to skip any of the size or number of bytes you don't want to skip and start from the zero. So that is the reason it will start. And length is nothing but a maximum number of bytes to write. I mean, to like you can write any number of bytes. There is no issue. Encoding, the default is a UTF-8, but if you want to add a hexadecimal or anything, right, you can do that one. And the value is nothing but a return. So it's integer number of bytes written. I mean, it's like how many number of bytes you are writing, the value will be written based on that. Okay. So I'm just I read the documentation and based on that I want to implement in such a way something like a buffer dot write is the method. Inside the buffer dot write method, I just want to pass some value. For example, hey, this is value. Okay, this is what the string I want to write. That's it, nothing much. Okay, even if you just try to display the buffer, you cannot see anything. Basically, it is nothing but a just buffer. Earlier, it is a 0000. That means it is an empty buffer. Now you are writing some piece of code. I don't want to keep it as 100. Instead of that, I will keep it as a 50 because the number of characters here is more than 10. I'm thinking like it is more than 10. That is the reason. Instead of counting each and every character, I just directly mentioned it is a 50. So if you see here, right, you can see a lot of buffer here. Out of this, whatever the text value we have entered, that value will be assigned with that buffer, and remaining raw data will be empty. Empty in the sense it's a 000. Now people may get it out. See, this is a buffer we have wrote that as a format of a UTF-8 format. By default, it's a UTF-8 format. But how can we display this one? If you are displaying the buffer, it is displaying in a raw data. Right? So basically, you already know that there is a method called a toString. Just use the toString method. The toString method. Oh, I'm sorry. So buffer.toString method. If you are using a toString method, definitely it will convert your all the buffer into the normal text data. Hey, this is the value. Clear? So I'm just adding here. Sorry. Create a buffer and write the contents into the buffer. So how you can create the buffer and write the contents into the buffer? Just open show here and paste. Okay, done. Okay, next one. For example, already reading the contents in this format. But if you want to read the contents into if you want to read the contents into some different format, right? Then what you need to do, you need to mention the I mean encoding format as well. You can mention something like a UTF-8. This is what the default, but if you are not mentioning that one, this is a something it will read in a normal text format. People may had get a doubt. Like earlier we saw this one, right? Like for example, toString, right? So you remember I told there is a hexadecimal value is also there, right? So if the toString, if you mention something like hexa, HEX, then what will happen? Let's see. HEX, hex. Okay. Now whatever the string I'm writing, the Node.js will server will convert this particular string into the hexadecimal format. This is what the hexadecimal format for this particular string. Okay, this is one. But yeah, definitely people may get a doubt like whether it is a correct or not, right? So that is the reason I'm just giving a 10, okay, or 16 or 17. Let's say if you give a 17, hexadecimal number must be you can easily identify. Okay, 313 blah 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 and all. Okay, this is what the hexadecimal value for this particular string. There is no such a kind of values like, okay, we pass the numbers and let's see. Okay, let's see if we pass the numbers, what will happen. So it is clearly mentioned that you need to definitely pass it as in a string form. You cannot pass the argument must be a string. It is clearly throwing in an argument must be a string. So definitely you need to mention that in a string form. Guys, you guys are like really very calm, and I'm just holding for a second. Just unmute yourself and ask your questions, please. Okay, great. Thank you, Divash. And what about others? No? Okay, fine. See, this is what one way to create a buffer and write the contents in the file. But there is another way. I mean to say, like, why we need to allocate the memory and then write in the contents. If you are doing like this, right, what will happen? Let's say you are taking a 50 bytes of memory out of. Can you unmute me, Veera? Okay, Veera, if you have any questions, go ahead.
Sir, here you passed 17, right? Buffer dot write function.
Right.
It means exactly what it means.
It is a string. It is not a
Just,
number. It is
just normal. Okay,
just
okay.
normal string.
Normal
That
string.
is what I told, right? If I remove this single quotes, it is clearly showing that you definitely should pass a string to the right method. You cannot pass a numbers to the string. I mean numbers to the right method. So definitely you need to pass this.
Okay.
Okay, great. So this is one of the way to create, but there is some drawback here. If you observe this one, right? If I write or okay, I will just remove this hexadecimal. By default, it is a UTF-8, right? Okay, as I mentioned, like hi, this is Balu. This is my test string. Okay, let's say in that case, what you are observing here, hey, this is Balu. That's fine. But if you are not using a two string, right? Definitely you can see something different here. What is that? So there are some bytes of memory is occupied up to here and remaining bytes of memory is really empty. I mean, it's like it is a free. If that is the case, what you need to do is instead of wasting this kind of memory, because you really don't know what how much data you are passing, right? So why can't we directly pass this particular string into the buffer size? Okay, so if you want to directly pass this buffer or the particular string, whatever you want to create directly, you can do that, but definitely you need to use a from method. Okay, so what if you are not using a from method? Okay, first of all, just go with the from method instead without using a from method. If I do like this, right, and then if you run this one, so you can see that there is a buffer is created. Obviously there is no issue, but it is clearly mentioned that deprecating warning, that buffer is a deprecated due to security and unstability issues. I mean, we already read that one. So that is the reason, if you want to pass directly the value to the buffer, just use a dot from method. In from this method it will create a buffer. If you see here, right, so simply the plain buffer, only the memory is allocated for the particular characters or the string which you are passed to the buffer class, right? And it is a plain raw buffer. Now what I want to do, I want to display the string of that one. So simply I can use a dot string method. So basically, dot string method. So by using a dot string method, you can convert that into the normal UTF-8 format. And hey, this is one. This is what the string is. Clear? So there are two ways. Either allocate the memory on the top of it by using a dot write method, you can assign the some value, but there is some drawback with that because of taking a simple arrays in a C class, right? I mean, while you are learning as you will mention like a static memory allocation, like array of something like 100 or something. You will use only 5 or 6 elements, and remaining everything is erased. So to avoid that kind of concept, you will go for a dynamic memory allocation, like using a pointer or something. The same way, directly you can assign some values to the buffer class, so that what it will do, it will take the string, and whenever whatever the string or data you are passing it with that particular values only, it will be assigned. Otherwise, it won't take a much memory here. So I'm just mentioning here. Okay, you can go with multiple ways. This is one of the way, and as I mentioned, like this is another way. Okay, these are the two possible ways to create a buffer. Okay, I mean, and allocate the contents to the particular buffer. Okay, and there are some predefined methods which are there inside the buffer. If you want to check whether the particular buffer is really a buffer or not, there is something called a is buffer. Is buffer is one of the method. Oh, sorry. Is buffer is one of the method to check whether the particular object is a really a buffer or not. Okay, so buffer dot is buffer, you can pass either a array or a string, or whatever buffer dot allocate. If you pass like this, definitely it will show you the true, because basically it will return a buffer value, and dot from, definitely it will throw you the true value. And definitely if you pass a string, it will pass a false value, because is the buffer will check whether the particular parameter or the value which you are passing to the is buffer method is a particular really a buffer or not. So there are possible ways. I'm sorry. Okay. So this is what the buffer is. So now what you need to, so this is my buffer. So there is something called a is buffer method. So I will just try to execute this one. Okay. Is buffer is one of the method which is used to check whether the parameter you are passing is a buffer or not. Okay. You cannot pass like this. You need to use a buffer class dot is buffer of the buffer parameter. Whatever you want to check, you need to pass that. That is what, right? See, buffer dot is buffer of something, the parameter, whatever you pass. Okay. Now save this one and just check whether it will work or not. It is a true. For example, if you're instead of writing it this, I can do something like, okay, something like a hello. This is string. Definitely, it is not a buffer, right? So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Instead of buffer, I will do something like a hello. So now it will check like whether it is a possible buffer or not. Just mention that one, it is a false, right? The given variable is a buffer or not, is a valid buffer or not. Guys, getting bored? Please speak. If you keep on talking or asking questions, right, then definitely the session will be more interactive, and it is a very interesting. But if you are not talking and being a quiet for a long time, definitely uh, I thought like maybe either you are very keeping bored or something like that. Okay. What is this? No one is here. Okay, great. Okay, now let's say there is a buffer you have created. Okay, I want to check whether the length of the buffer. For example, this is what my new buffer is. If you want to find the length of the buffer, right, then definitely you can use something called a dot length method. Just like arrays we will use, right? Similarly, we can use a dot length method. Is there? Length. Oh, sorry. Length. Okay. Buffer dot length. This is one of the method. You can find like whether the buffer is what kind of length is a buffer on. See, I'm just giving a very small examples. What you need to do is you need to go a little bit thorough. I mean, it is like whatever is really required in the real time, you need to be thorough with few of the things. I don't know whether in your projects we will use this buffer on, but definitely you need to understand what is happening inside the background. Okay, so while you are reading the file, definitely the buffer will come tomorrow. If you go for the project and if you see that okay, the buffer variable is there, but you really don't know what is the buffer is, then it is a that's a very difficult. Okay, so that is the reason I'm giving at least a little bit of examples. So now you need to find what is a buffer is here. Buffer dot length. Length is a method which is used to find the length of the buffer. Okay, that's it. So the length of the buffer is 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Total 18 characters of buffer is here. You can write down your own notes and explore on a more number of functions. That is really very good. As I mentioned, like I'm giving a very small examples to make you understand the things, but please try to add more number of functions or explore more. Okay. Similarly, let's say there is something called people ask you to copy one buffer to another buffer. Similarly, whatever we are doing inside the functions, right? The same way, or I mean, we are doing over the strings, right? The same way we can do it over the buffer size. Okay. For that, we have something called a dot copy method is there. So basically, what copy method will do? Wait, it is a buffer dot copy bytes from. Okay, it is not the right method. You need to check buffer dot copy. Oh, okay. This is what buffer.copy. Inside the buffer.copy, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to send the this one buffer one dot copy of buffer 2 comma 8 comma 16 comma 20. So basically what you need to do, buffer dot copy target and the target start and the source start and source end. Okay, what is a target? Is a buffer of to copy into wherever you want to copy that buffer, you need to pass that one. Target start, the offset, it's a target at which to begin, I mean to like on which location or from which particular. Yes sir, I want to say, what is that I want to say, Divyansh? Divesh, just hold for a minute. Let me finish this one, then we will talk. Okay, source start and the source end. That is what we want to do. Okay, so here BEF buffer is nothing but the source of that one, and the target is the one which you want to do. Okay, so let me write down a simple example. Okay, so let's say I have created something like a SRC buffer. Okay, that is a source buffer. Inside the source buffer, I'm writing something like a new buffer. Okay, so you can't directly assign the you can't assign directly something like this buffer of some values. So instead of that, what you will do, you can do some method. It's a deprecated method, right? So that is the reason you can use something like a buffer dot from. Okay, hi, this is test, something like this. Okay, let's say we have one string. Okay, now you want to create another buffer, let's say destination buffer, let's say destination of bu buffer. Okay, here you don't know what is the buffer sizes, I mean to say, like, definitely you don't know how much memory you want to allocate and all. That is the reason randomly I will take like buffer.alloc is the method which is used to allocate some memory to the buffer. Let's say I have given 100, I mean it won't be 100. Definitely you can give the size of this one. So if you want to allocate the exact size of the source, yes, you can do that. So how you can do that? Basically, buffer source buffer dot length, GT, source buffer dot length, which will always returns the length of the buffer, right? So definitely instead of 100, you can directly pass that source buffer dot length. Okay. Now what you need to do, you want to copy the destination, I mean source into the destination. Okay. So for this purpose, basically what you need to do is, first you need to take the source buffer. SRC buffer is my method. SRC buffer is my source buffer dot. Okay, so copy is my method. Inside the copy, what you need to do is you need to pass a target. The target is nothing but a destination buffer. That's it. Okay, now this is way you need to copy the source buffer into the copy, I mean destination buffer. Okay, so you are done. Now let's say if you put a console.log. Okay, first of all, I want to display the source buffer. Okay, similarly, I want to display the console.log of destination buffer. So DSTBF destination buffer destination. Let's see what will happen here. Let me run this one. So this is the source buffer and this is the destination buffer, but it is not a readable format. So basically, what I will do, I will convert that into the string format. So to string, and if you observe this one, similarly dot to string method. Okay. Whoa. Sorry. So this is a source, right? Basically, what I will do, I will just put something like so source buffer is something like this, and similarly the destination buffer is something like this. Usually in a real time, people won't really assign the value something like this. They will give some random number. Why? Because they really don't know which string is copied. Basically the source string is a dynamic value which is coming from the either the database or the REST API or something. But here we are already having a static string. That is the reason I have given a string something like this. Okay, so if you run this one, source string is high, this is a test, and destination string is also same. Okay. Okay, I will just copy this one here. Uh, Divyansh, you are about to say something. You can speak now. Uh, yes, definitely I can give, but the problem is, first of all, people try to, you know, go through this all the examples whatever we have done earlier. If you guys are already really comfortable and you know are really interested to the assignments, I will definitely give the assignments. It is not a big deal for me. I can give that. But only the thing is, nowadays people are really busy. I mean, not only me, everyone is really busy with their own works, right? So that is the reason I'm just waiting and thinking for you guys. The push should be come from you guys. So then only I can give some assignments and ask you to do that. Okay. So earlier I have told something like a reduce method, right? So you have seen a lot of examples here, but how many of you are really tried with that examples, and how many of you are really comfortable uh, with assignments if I give on the reduce method? I do have a lots of examples. See, people won't. Yeah. So Divyansh and Veera, you two people are speaking, but yeah, we will. I will definitely give some exercises here. Let me go with one more day, so like either today or tomorrow, so that by before the weekend, I will give you some examples. Just make some time, or find some time to practice more on weekends. That will be very helpful for you guys. Okay. Okay, next one, there is something called, okay, we do have a time, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, yesterday, I will take a 10 minutes earlier, more time today, okay, just 10 minutes, okay, not much. We do have something called, what it is called, okay, dot slice method is there, okay. Basically, what dot slice method will do, inside the buffer, if you go for a buffer dot slice, right, basically okay, wait, if you observe this one, not this one, it is a duplicated one. Wait. First of all, you need to find the right one. Uh, this is what the first one. Second one. Buffer dot size. Basically, it is a deprecated, but yeah, you can use it. First of all, let's see what it is. Buffer dot slice of start comma end. Okay. I forget to tell you one more thing. Let's say there is a buffer is there. You can create a buffer from anything. I mean to say, like, not only from the string. You can create it from the array itself. For example, you remember like how we will create a buffer, like buffer dot from, this is the method we will use. Inside the buffer dot from, basically what you can do is you are passing a string here, right? Instead of that, you can pass some variables as well. I mean, it is like arrays 1 2 3 4. Okay, either you can use an object also, that is no issue, because everything is resides inside the memory, right? So if you put a console dot log, basically what you will do, buffer, if you put a buffer right here, you will see the raw data here. Oops. You will see the raw data here. But if you use a dot string method, then what will happen here? I will definitely give you a note. Okay, console.log buffer dot string. So okay, just dot string. Okay, so if you observe this one, right, you are converting this array into the string format, and after you stringifying that one, there are some special characters. Those are nothing but these are what it is called ASCII codes for that particular number. Basically, zero is an empty value. I mean, just like it is a null, and from there, 1 2 3 4, it will start with the special numbers. Now it is your responsibility to find out how we can convert this array into a buffer. Instead of using a string, there are some other methods. Only the thing is, you need to go here. Okay, just go here and find out some method which will convert your array buffer into a array type of thing. That's it. Okay. Let's see how many of you are really uh, give some time to find out this particular issue, like buffer dot what is the method we will use to find out, like whether to convert this particular what to string into a array type of thing. Okay. You maybe write some simple piece of code, but yeah, that's fine. At least give a try. Okay, and see like how many of you are really can do this. It won't take much time, but it's a very simple. Okay, just give a try and find out like how we can convert this array into a normal type of array. I mean, it's like instead of buffer, what is the method, external method or buffer method we will use to convert this particular buffer into an array. Okay, just find out that one for tomorrow. Okay, as I mentioned, like you can use a slice method for converting that one, but as documentation already clearly mentioning that buffer dot slice is a deprecated. But is there anything something like that? Okay, buffer dot slice deprecated, use buffer dot subarray instead. Okay, so what we need to do, instead of using a slice method, you can use a subarray method. Okay, buffer dot subarray. Okay, what is this buffer dot subarray? First of all, okay, first of all, understand this. Buffer dot slice method. Okay, so what I will do, I will take one letter. Buffer is my variable. Inside the buffer, new of buffer dot dot from of, I will just say something like a balu t, something like this. Okay, let's see. Okay, now what I will do, I want to convert, I mean, I want to slice this one. You know what is slice, right? Slice in the sense cutting. I mean, it's like you can you know, take a part of that particular string by using the slice method. Basically, buffer is my buffer dot. What you need to use? You need to use a slice method. Okay, inside the slice method, let's say if you go for uh, what what it is. If you go for this one, right, documentation, okay, dot slice is my method. If you go for a dot slice, okay, basically what you need to do is you need to pass the start variable. I mean, to like what are from where which location you are going to start, and then the next, okay, end the starting index and the ending index. Type is nothing but the content type of the new block. Let forget about that block thing for now. But first of all, try to understand what is the start and end. Okay, the starting index and the ending index. That is what they mentioned. Okay, now, if I go for a starting index is a zero, basically every string is nothing but it's an object inside the what it is called JavaScript, right? So basically, it starts with the zeroth portion. That's a B. One, two, three, four. Only the first four letters I want to display. So I want to take a first four letters. Okay, something like this. So if you just put a console.log over this particular buffer.slice, basically what will happen here? Okay, if you see there is a buffer, but you need to convert that into the string, right? So dot string is my method, string string. Okay, now let's see what will happen. Okay, only first four characters we are reading from this particular string. Got it? This is what the slice is, but obviously the documentation people are suggesting you to not use a slice. So instead of a slice, you can use something called a what it is called, buffer dot slice. Instead of buffer dot slice, it is a deprecated, so use a buffer dot subarray. Okay, we will go with that example. I mean, basically we should not use a slice. Instead of that, we will use subarray. So we can use simply subarray, and you need to provide the starting units where the new buffer will start, where the new buffer will end. Not inclusive, but by default it is a buffer dot length value. So instead of a slice, you can use a subarray method. Okay, that is what I'm trying to do here. Buffer dot subarray method of 0, 4 and convert that into the two string value, and let's see what is output here. See, so go for a documentation and first check for the method whether it is a suitable and it is a really usable now for the current version or not. If it is a deprecated, just leave that one, and instead of that, whatever you want to do, just yeah, that is the same. Nothing gonna change. Somewhere is 0, 4 dot push. That's it. Don't they are saying like don't use a slice method, instead of that use a subarray method. Maybe there may be some issues with the new versions with the slide, so that is the reason they are expecting to use a subarray method. Okay. Okay, I will just mention here. I will go here and write a program to uh, slice the string from the from the buffer. Okay. Now go to insert table. That's it. Paste it here. Okay. Done. Okay, so you can use a subarray method, but yeah, even slice is also okay, but it is a deprecated in the new versions. But remember, if you are using the older versions, definitely you need to use the dot slice method only. Okay, and finally I will go with one more program and then we will stop. Okay, let's say there is a two buffers are there. For example, it is a balu is a one buffer. Okay, similarly I will take another buffer. Okay, copy, and let's say this is my buffer one. Okay, this is my buffer one. Now I am trying to go with the another buffer called a buffer two. Okay, so inside the buffer two, let's say I have something called some what it is called, my surname something like a TLED. Okay, now what I want is I want to concatenate these two buffers into a single buffer. Okay, whether it is a possible or not. Okay, if that is the case, first of all, what you need to do is you need to go for a documentation here. There is something called a buffer dot concat is a method. Okay, this concat method is not there. Seriously, dot concat. Okay, so buffer dot concat, buffer dot concat, buffer dot concat. Okay, so okay, buffer dot concat. Whereas you can send some list in the sense. See, remember one thing. There can be anything. I mean, to say like you can not only it is just a two, you can give any number of buffers. See, buffer one dot buffer two, buffer three, they are passing all these three buffers into a single length, and concatenate of total length also you need to send. So there are two parameters. The total length is an optional parameter. That is the reason they kept it inside the arrow, I mean square brackets. So either you can use or you may not use. Okay, that is fine. Buffer.concat may also use the internal buffer pool like buffer.alloc unsafe also does. Whatever buffer unsafe, alloc unsafe will do, the same thing buffer.concat will also do. So the same way I'm doing here. Let's say I'm taking something like a buffer 3. Okay, buffer 3. So what buffer 3 will do? It is a buffer class dot concat is my method. Inside the concat, you need to pass the list of all the buffers whatever you see. I have only two variables here. You can give any number of variables. Okay, it is just a for example purpose I have given to. So basically, what you need to do inside the concat method, definitely people, I mean, you need to remember this one. You need to pass it inside the I mean, to see if it is a if you are passing two parameters, the first parameter must be the array and next parameter must be the total length. But if you are not passing a total length, you can by default give something like this, like buffer one comma buffer two. But yeah, you definitely follow the rule. Second parameter you are not passing, so the first parameter must be the inside the array. That's it. Now, if I put a console.log, right, you are concatenated these two things. Like buffer three is my last concatenated buffer. If you run this one, you can see only the buffer format. Now, what you need to do is you just need to do dot to string is my method. If you use dot to string, then go. Okay. So these are the maximum possibilities which I have observed, like for demonstration purpose. But there are lot of things are there. Don't think like okay, these are the only things which we can do. There are lot of things are there. Definitely you need to practice a lot. See blob dot text, and there are static methods, whether it is a is buffer or not. Already we did that. From, if you enter the some string, it will return buffer dot from of object. You can pass the object as well. You can give the buffer to convert that into the buffer. Array buffer, array. There are a lot of things are there. Only the thing is you just need to what just give a practice and just give a small examples on these ones. Okay, so whatever it is possible from my side I have given. Okay, this is the concatenated two buffers, right? I will just keep it here for your reference purpose. Not two buffers, two or multiple. Okay. Okay, that's all for today, guys. Just go with this file systems and the buffer. Tomorrow we will cover a little bit more on crypto, and already you are aware of process. In the process, you have seen only current working directory or the next and all this stuff. But I will try to cover a few more here. Okay, the REPL is one of the important one. I will try to cover this REPL. Basically, REPL is a most of the part. It is a theoretical part, but I will try to make it more interactive by writing some simple codes and all. Yeah, but as I mentioned, like until unless the really requirement is there, we definitely can't execute each and everything. But I will try my best to give you some better examples on these things. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. If you guys don't have any questions, we can stop here.
Recording stopped.
No, seems like no. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Hmm. Yes, Divyans. Read, evaluate, print, loop. That is what we are going to practice tomorrow. Thank you, Matt. Chalo, bye bye.